Welcome to Zeer News 24's roundup of today's top stories. It's Saturday, the 21st of Saratan, 1404, in the Hijri solar calendar, corresponding to July 12th, 2025. I'm Dominic Wight, bringing you the latest national and international headlines from Zeer News 24. First, the top headlines. Pakistan pushes for stronger ties with Afghanistan. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar says a peaceful and stable Afghanistan is in Pakistan's interest. He highlighted steps taken to strengthen diplomatic engagement with Afghanistan. Uzbekistan and Afghanistan emphasize political and economic cooperation. In Tashkent, both nations reaffirmed their commitment to enhancing bilateral trade, cultural, and economic ties. Gaza under siege for 103 days. Over 650,000 children face the threat of famine amid ongoing Israeli blockades and restricted humanitarian access. Now, the full stories. Pakistan's foreign minister calls for closer Afghanistan relations. Ishaq Dar emphasized that a peaceful Afghanistan benefits Pakistan. He referenced his visits to Kabul in April and the China-Pakistan-Afghanistan trilateral meeting in Beijing in May as steps toward improving relations. However, observers remain skeptical of Pakistan's intentions, noting a contradiction between its statements and actions. Just days after affirming cooperation, Pakistan once again accused Afghanistan of harboring militants at the UN, a claim strongly rejected by the Islamic Emirate of Afghanistan. Afghan officials insist the country is moving toward peace and refrains from interfering in other nations' internal affairs. Afghanistan and Uzbekistan deepen political and economic cooperation. The Afghan ambassador in Tashkent, Sheikh Abdul Ghaffar Bar, met with Uzbekistan's foreign minister Bakhtiyor Saidov to discuss enhancing diplomatic relations. They also reviewed agreements on the Afghan Trans Project, visa facilitation for Afghan traders, and simplifying border procedures to boost trade. Saidov assured his support for expanding political and economic ties. UNHCR warns of massive Afghan refugee return. The UN Refugee Agency warns that over 3 million Afghans may return from Iran and Pakistan this year, intensifying Afghanistan's already critical humanitarian situation. UNHCR Representative Arafat Jamal said the returns are happening in a disorganized and disrespectful manner. Over 1.6 million have already returned, and in just one day, July 4, 50,000 crossed through Islam Kala. Most returnees face physical, psychological, and economic hardship. UN agencies have scaled up efforts in health, water, nutrition, and vaccinations. IOM reported 450,000 returns in just the past month alone, warning of serious implications for Afghanistan's stability amid joblessness and climate challenges. Afghan railway officials attend Global Rail Congress in China. Afghanistan's Deputy Minister of Public Works, Mullah Muhammad Ishaq Sahebzada, led a delegation to the 12th Congress of the International Union of Railways, UIC, in China. Afghanistan, a UIC member since 2013, aims to modernize its railway network using global standards and technology. The Congress hosted officials, experts, and company representatives from over 60 countries. Afghanistan and Kazakhstan discuss expanding transport cooperation. Afghanistan's Deputy Minister for Road Transport, Mullah Abdul Salam Haidari, met with Kazakhstan's Deputy Transport Minister, Kalyakparov Maksat. They discussed expanding bilateral road transport agreements and the launch of direct flights between Kabul and Astana. Haidari emphasized that improved ties align with Afghanistan's regional cooperation strategy. Kazakhstan reaffirmed its strong commitment to strengthening transport collaboration. Now to global news. 10 Palestinians killed while collecting food in Gaza. According to the UN, 10 Palestinians were killed by Israeli strikes while trying to collect food. Nearly 800 people have been killed in similar incidents over the past 6 weeks. The UN condemned these attacks as clear violations of international humanitarian law and urged for an immediate ceasefire. Severe shortages of food, water, and medicine have created a dire humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Gaza siege enters 103rd day, 650,000 children at risk of famine. After 103 days of blockade, hundreds of thousands in Gaza, including 650,000 children, face severe hunger. Aid has been cut off since March 2nd. UNICEF and other organizations report a 146% rise in child malnutrition. Hospitals are either shut or operating with minimal resources, and dozens of children have died due to lack of medicine and baby formula. The UN has called Gaza a graveyard for children and urged immediate international action. UN report: global corporations may be held liable for profiting from genocide. UN Special Rapporteur Francesca Albanese stated that international legal frameworks can hold companies accountable for profiting from Israeli occupation and genocide in Palestine. Her report names 60 companies, including Google, Amazon, Microsoft, IBM, and Alphabet, as complicit in providing technology and logistical support that enables Israel's control over Gaza. She urged international courts to act against these firms for their role in what she termed the genocide economy. Mob kills 5 people in Guatemala following earthquake. In Santa Maria de Jesus, Guatemala, 5 people accused of looting were beaten and burned alive by a mob. The town, hit hardest by a recent 5.7 magnitude quake, had residents sleeping in makeshift shelters. Power outages and landslides had isolated the area. Mob justice is not new in Guatemala. Between 2008 and 2020, over 361 people were killed in similar incidents. Donald Trump visits Texas flood victims. Former U.S. President Donald Trump and First Lady Melania visited flood-hit Kerrville, Texas. So far, the floods have claimed at least 120 lives. Trump expressed deep sympathy and promised urgent support to affected families. Pentagon confirms Iranian missile strike on U.S. base in Qatar. The Pentagon confirmed that an Iranian missile hit U.S. facilities at Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar, causing minor damage. This retaliatory strike followed a U.S. air raid on Iranian nuclear sites. The escalation ended with a ceasefire brokered by Donald Trump after 12 days of fighting between Iran and Israel. Ecuador's most wanted drug lord agrees to U.S. extradition. Adolfo Machis, known as Fito, leader of the violent Los Choneros gang, has agreed to be extradited to the U.S. on drug trafficking and arms smuggling charges. After escaping from a maximum security prison in January, he was recaptured in Manta. This will be Ecuador's first extradition case under a new 2024 law. And now sports news. Wrestling tournament held in Nangarhar. A large wrestling competition was held in Jalalabad, featuring 500 athletes from 35 clubs. Out of all competitors, 251 matches and received awards. Kickboxing championships in Kabul. The capital hosted a kickboxing tournament to identify top athletes from the northern and southern zones. 75 athletes participated, with 44 standout fighters recognized by the end of the event. Boxing contest in Balkh province. In Mazar-e-Sharif, 140 athletes competed in a day-long boxing tournament. Balkh claimed first place, Baglan second, and Samangan third. Cricket. Indian wicket-keeper Rishabh Pant injured. Rishabh Pant injured his finger on the second day of the Test match against England at Lord's. Despite the injury, India remained competitive. There are concerns, however, that the injury may affect Pant's future innings. That concludes today's news bulletin. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, X, and YouTube at Zeer News 24. Until tomorrow, take care and goodbye.